Oh, you said it. Photo Dave sure is late with this review. Guys, give me a break. I don't even really do reviews. Oh, that was a sick burn! Yeah, I don't really speak Android, so if somebody knows what that guy just said, do me a favor and let me know in the comments below. Well, hello there everybody, I'm Photo Dave and this is Toypixx, a channel dedicated to helping you and helping me get a whole lot better at our action figure photography. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and click subscribe while I describe what this video is all about. Yes, friends, we're just gonna talk about the Bat and the G.I. Joe classified Alley Viper from a toy photography point of view. Now, this isn't going to be one of those where you're checking all the points of articulation and all that good stuff and really glossing over the construction. I'm just going to talk about what I think they look like under the lights and in front of the lens. If you need videos like what I just talked about, they're all over the internet. Go check them out if you're really wondering how these bad boys move. Just rest assured that I have them, which means they move pretty well. So without further ado, let's get to it. First things first, when we talk about the movement of these two, you can already see that it's likely the Bat has much better movement than the Alley Viper because of the Alley Viper's overlay, and it's more than likely it is actually very true. So I really dig moving this guy around. You can make him look like a zombie. I think I showed that in the last video I did where I talked about the Bat a little bit. But his movement is just insanely stellar. There's really nothing in the way at all. You might argue that this belt kind of gets in the way, but you can just make adjustments as you do things like lift up the legs and all that. There's no unusual articulation on these guys where it's better on them than others or anything like that. So we're just not going to go over that so much, but like I said, just know they're just like the rest of the classified figures, so they move exceptionally well. Now, talking about the Alley Viper here, as far as his movement and posing, and remember, that stuff's important for expression when it comes to photography. Talking about this guy, he has all the good movement you come to expect from classified, but he doesn't have much crunch because of that overlay. One thing that I hope they get to when it comes to classified is kind of splitting the overlay a little bit so that the belt is down here and the vest is higher up, so figures like this can get a little more crunch. But other than that, he's a pretty frightening looking dude. He's not a bad guy to have in Cobra Commander's army. As far as the look's concerned with these two bad boys, well, you know that when it comes to a figure that's mostly in black, I'm going to give the edge to him all day when it comes to putting him under the lights and in front of the lens, and this Bat is no exception. He looks really good when you hit him with a little bit of light. He looks frightening, he looks imposing. If you hit it with really hard light, you've got really crazy little shadow, and just, he looks good when you hit him with the light. Not saying the Alley Viper doesn't, but when you consider his bright orange costume and blue, and the fact that he doesn't move as well, he has real color, and it looks good when you need just a really bright, colorful shot, and I'm not downplaying that, but when you have a figure with so much black and grays and all that, it's almost a photographic cheat. If we bring forward the Alley Viper here, though, you gotta give it to him on the texture. All those folds when you hit him are really going to show up nicely. Let's look at the vest a little bit, too. Folds on the vest, pockets, sheath, his head. I mean, that thing, I hate when that happens. That thing's pretty sweet, too. Got a little cobra under there. So all the detail really adds to the figure itself when it comes to photography, because if you can light them up really nicely, all that detail is going to show through, and it just looks great under the lights. I mean, it's pretty much how Classified is. Classified just looks good when you're shooting them. Now, when it comes to accessories, you're going to be hard-pressed to beat either of these literal bad boys. So, let's just start off with what all the Bat comes with. First off, we've got this crazy backpack. Now you can see it's heavily detailed. It's of course kind of done in the style that the original was. It's got this little piece hanging off the edge. It's a little different, but I'll show you why. There's a spot right there that you can plug something into. And then there's 2 spots here. And then here's the peg to peg into his back. This thing is just designed really well. All the parts to the bat just connect really nicely to the figure. So they just do a great job integrating all this stuff. So next, let's just get into this stuff. Here is, I believe, this is a little bit of a flamethrower. Good stuff. You unpeg his hand and you peg this in instead. Oh, great googly moogly. There we go. Peg that into his hand and whoo, you get fire! This one's not too hard to figure out. It's a claw! Same deal. Unplug a hand and put this bad boy in there. Now, I don't know what this is. It kind of looks like a hose. Not sure. Somebody in the comments might know what it's supposed to be. I do not know. But it's another thing that you simply plug in and go. The bat's very plug and play. So there's all that stuff. And now he's of course got a pistol. Bit of a sidearm. Definitely a laser looking thing. Excuse me. Doesn't really look like any kind of real world deal. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Either way, doesn't matter. Still very cool sidearm for the man. Or android. And then you've got 2 of these pieces that go on his chest to cover up his circuitry. Now the first bat, the one way back in '86, had the exposed circuitry and it looked really cool and all that, but I understand what the designers were going for. Cover up the circuitry, all that good stuff, because you don't want the Joes to bust right in and just pull them apart. And then he's got this piece, denting the circuitry. Very cool stuff. I do love the parts that he comes with, but my favorite accessory is going to be this head. Hello, nightmare fuel. That is busting this bad boy up. You throw that on the bat, you've got basically a zombie-looking deal, which is very cool. Love all the stuff this guy comes with. And now let's talk Alley Viper. Both of them, like I said, a ridiculous amount of accessories, good stuff, but holy crap, this guy's got craziness going on. Okay, you've got the backpack. All kinds of cool little detail. It reminds me of like the backpacks, the proton packs that the Ghostbusters had. And before we get too far, see that little peg right there, pretty much in the center of the screen. You take the gun here that the Alley Viper comes with, and right around that little peg, let's see, try to do this while I'm looking on camera. Right around that little peg, you put the gun on, so it holds very nicely, just like the original Alley Viper, and because you had this little piece that was on the original as well, you plug that into the end of the gun. Oh, where is it? Come on now. There we go. And now you've got the backpack that looks just like it did way back in 1989 with the original Alley Viper. Very good stuff. This is the attention to detail that this classified team puts into this. Now, let's just keep going, because the Alley Viper, loaded for, well, bear, elephant, Mars, everything. Look at that bad boy. Very nice detail. No paint on the guns, but that doesn't bother me. There's plenty of paint, plenty of brightness on the Alley Viper. They don't really need a lot of orange and blue going on these bad boys. And then we've got this one. This is just really cool. I really like this. Looks like a, let's see, I don't know that I'd call it a rifle. Looks like maybe a slight submachine gun. But I'm not sure exactly what the intent is with this thing. I do know the intent for the Alley Viper with this thing would be shoot things. But yeah, very cool weapon there. He's got 2 of these. 2 little knives that you can put a string through. Not sure why. Don't really care why. Just a cool couple knives to give him that old school look again. Those plug into... Let's grab this guy. One plugs into this piece on his forearm, and the other plugs into this brown piece on the vest. So we're just going to set him down because I'm like that. Now we've got a little pistol. Kind of, I think this is pretty much the standard pistol that comes with a lot of these figures. And then we got the big guns here, or the big shield. This thing, look at that Cobra logo on there. That's just super cool. And I don't even mind, like, it would be kind of cool if it were red, but that would just throw off the color scheme, man. So orange, I'm totally good with that. And then you've got this. You've got kind of a visor, like a viewfinder, where he looks through to take down G.I. Joe or whatever. And you've got this piece, so you can put this shield on his arm however you want. Which is probably one of my favorite things about this whole Alley Viper. So yeah, these guys come loaded. You are not going to stop them when it comes to armaments. You might actually have to outthink these two. And now it's time to get into some good old-fashioned size comparisons. So, here they are with the Cobra Trooper and the Cobra Officer. Man, I love that Cobra Trooper. That dude is nightmare fuel. Now, if we pull these guys... Oh, man, so much work. We drop in GH. And LJ, there's your size comparison with a female figure from Classified and a big man from Classified. Now, let's see. Okay, we've got two more size comparisons to go with. Pull these two out of here. Drop in the Big Blue Boy Scout, as well as old Mr. Snickety. And these are Wolverine and Superman from Moffex. Whew! Like you guys didn't think I was going to throw some Moffex stuff in there. Alright, and now last but not least, another Hasbro figure with the Black Series Stormtrooper and Mando from SH Figuarts. So yeah, folks, there are your size comparisons. So if I'm to rate these two, let's remember that Classified is an already exceptional line. Almost every figure they come out with is pretty darn good. But if I'm to give one of these the win, it's gonna be the Bat, because on his own, he's scary impressive. He's got all the articulation, the colors for the camera work really well, the zombie head. He's the only G.I. Joe Classified figure I think of as complete, because he doesn't need fists and all that stuff. He can just drop his hand on your head, plus he's got all those weapons to take you down too. He is a complete figure. Now that's not to take away from the Alley Viper, but the fact is, subjectively, he just isn't that frightening to me, you know? I mean, obviously, he's wearing those big bright colors. He might as well be saying, hey, look at me, I rock, you can't stop me even though you can see me. Unless, of course, you throw maybe a grenade in the middle of him. But, again, that's not to take anything away from the Alley Viper. I have two more of each of these figures coming, and I think troop building the Alley Viper will make him just cooler in my book, and I think troop building the Bats is just going to make him straight up nightmare fuel for the rest of my collection. Except maybe Superman. So, comment below and let me know, what do you think of these two guys? Are you going to pick them up? Are you army building them? Do you dig Classified as a whole? Now remember that in the video description, I will have links to everything you saw in the video. Those will be Amazon affiliate links and possibly some eBay affiliate links as well. So what you do is you click on any of those, go buy whatever you want on those websites, and it helps out the channel, and I certainly appreciate it, as I appreciate the fact that you actually sat here and watched this whole thing. So thanks again, folks. Huge for me. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.